The initial data is prepared, and now we will move on to entering formulas. In cell D7, we will enter a formula that allows us to add the values of cells B7 and C7. As we know, a formula begins with an equal sign. This sign indicates to Excel that a number will be entered next. If we enter any text, the program will return an error. In cases where it is necessary to enter text that starts with an equal sign, minus, or plus, we should first change the cell's number format to text. After that, any combination of characters can be entered into the cell. Let's return the cell to the general format, and add the two values by referencing the corresponding cells. The other math operations are entered in a similar manner, using the appropriate operation symbol. I believe you should have no questions regarding addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But how do we raise a number to a power? For this, we use the special caret symbol, which is accessed by pressing the Shift-6 key combination. The last operation is root extraction. Mathematically, extracting a root is also raising to a power. The number 1 needs to be raised to the power equal to 1 divided by number 2, and in the formula, parentheses must be used. But why do we need to specify calculations in parentheses? The thing is, we must not forget about the order of operations. You may remember that there is such a priority of operations in math. Multiplication has a higher priority than addition. This means that if we calculate the formula, 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4, the order of calculation will be as follows. First, we multiply 3 by 4 and get 12, and then we add 2 to 12 and get 14. In other words, operations are performed according to priority, not in the way that we add 2 to 3, getting 5, and then multiply 5 by 4, getting 20. It works the same way in Excel. The highest priority operation is exponentiation, followed by multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction in decreasing order of priority. Therefore, if we want to calculate a certain value first and then use it for further calculations, we need to use parentheses to change the order of operations. Once again, I would like to emphasize that it is very important not to forget about the priorities of calculations. When you work with complex formulas, you may get false results because of wrong priority of operations in the formula. So, we have reviewed the basic math operations, but Excel has a tool that greatly expands our capabilities when performing calculations. I am talking about functions. A function is a predefined object that is used in a formula. In other words, a function performs specific operations and returns a ready value that is used in further calculations. To understand what a function is in Excel, let's recall trigonometric functions, such as sine or cosine. These functions, using a specific argument, provide us with a result that is then used in calculations. The situation in Excel is exactly the same, and by the way, you can also calculate sines and cosines in it. There are many functions in Excel. There is no point in knowing all the functions of the program, as you are unlikely to use them all in your work. It is enough to understand the principle of working with functions, and then you will easily be able to apply any of them. To work with functions, it is convenient to use the Insert Function dialog box. We can call it by clicking on the function icon located close to the formula bar. This tool allows you to view the functions available in the program, their syntax, and descriptions. This dialog box is convenient to use at the initial stage when you are just getting acquainted with the features of Excel. Later, it will be easier to enter functions manually. In the drop-down list, we can select the category to which the function belongs, and then a list of functions in that category will appear. By selecting a function from the list, we will see its syntax, that is, the rules for writing it, and a brief description. If you do not know the category the function belongs, you can choose to display all functions in the program by selecting the appropriate option. There's also a search box here, but it's not very useful. It is easier to search for information about the needed function on the internet, and then refer to the dialog box to enter the function you found earlier. We have reviewed the simplest math operations, and functions can be applied to some of them. First, let's simplify our table. We will remove 2 columns with operands in the calculation block, as it makes more sense to take this data from the initial data block. We can completely delete column C. To do this, we will call the context menu by right-clicking on the column C tab and selecting the delete option from the menu. As for the column with results, we will simply move it to the place of the column with the first operand values. To do this, we will select all the cells in the required range, drag it with the mouse, and move it to the place of the column with number 1. A warning will appear that the data will be replaced. The formulas previously entered do not work, as the connection with certain cells was lost due to the deletion and movement of columns. This is indicated by the corresponding error. We will delete the contents of the results column and create the formulas again, but this time using functions. After entering the equal sign in the corresponding cell, we will refer to the insert function dialog box. We need the sum function, which can be found in the math and trig category. This function has arguments, which in our case will be the operands from the initial data block. The arguments of function are separated by commas. Select the function and then specify the arguments using the mouse. The formula will be displayed in the formula bar and the result of the calculation can be seen in the dialog box. In this case, the function did not particularly simplify the task, but the sum function can work with ranges. For example, if we need to sum all values in a certain range, we can simply select it. Let's delete the formula from the cell and recreate it. This time, I won't refer to the insert function dialog box but will type the function name using the keyboard. As soon as I enter the first letters of the function name, a hint will appear with all the matching Excel functions. We can use the arrow keys to select the appropriate function and then press the tab key to insert it into the formula. This technique significantly speeds up the input of functions into formulas. Now let's specify the function argument. In our case, it will be a range consisting of 2 cells. We simply select it with the mouse, press enter, and the function will sum all values from the specified range. Not all basic math operations have functions. For subtraction and division, there are no special functions, so we will enter the formulas using the same principles as we did before. However, for multiplication and exponentiation, we will use functions from the math category. These operations are performed by the product and power functions. As with addition, we enter the name of the function, specify the arguments, and press enter. For the next math operation, we will apply the power function. When entering the full name of the function, a hint appears that displays the function syntax. From this hint, it is clear that the first argument is the number to be raised to a power, and the second is the power. For the first argument, we will specify the number from cell B3, and for the power, we will use the number from cell B4. Similarly, we will extract the root. After specifying the cell that defines the power, we will make changes by adding a fraction where the numerator is 1 and the denominator is a reference to cell B4. So, our table is working again, but now partially based on functions. We have reviewed 2 ways to enter functions, and you can choose the one that is most convenient for you. Excel has over 400 functions, and in the following videos, we will start exploring the most commonly used of them. But before we begin examining functions, let's finish this table by applying formatting to it. We will also look at techniques and tools that allow us to give the table the desired appearance. So, see you in the next video.